This video, week 28, my weight loss journey in terms of where we are, what I've been doing over the last week, what I'm going to be doing over the next week, and just a little bit of an update on where we are with this journey. So I hope you enjoy. My name is Mark and I'm here to help you live a better, healthier life. My goal is to help as many people as I can get into shape and improve their quality of life. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so accountability, as always. Where are we with this weight loss journey at the moment? Last week I was 127.1 kilograms, that's 280 pounds. This week I'm 128.4, which is 283 pounds. 3 pounds up. Obviously, as anybody's been following this knows that I've had a trapped nerve in my neck, which has been painful. I lost most of the weight for that. Last week I was feeling so much better. By this stage I've had about a week's worth of actual night's sleep. You have no idea how much of a zombie I was being with only a couple of hours sleep each night. So feeling much more human. So we went away for the weekend, had a lovely time in an area of the UK called the Lake District, did some light activities and things, and more importantly saw some friends, socially distanced, and had a great time, including having a few beers and some nice meals, which normally I don't do. I don't really drink. But it was lovely and sunny. There was cold beer in the bars and pubs, and sitting in a beer garden on a nice spring day. It was a nice day, which is unusual for us. So unashamedly, I'm actually a little bit surprised that it was only £3 that I put on, because we did eat out each night because we're in a guest house rather than a hotel. So we're having breakfast cooked for us, and I unashamedly had a lot of food that I don't normally have, because it was cooked by other people and they did the dishes. So I have come back feeling so much better. I have had a sleep, I'm feeling relaxed. My neck now barely aches rather than hurting, so it's not interrupting with my sleep. I had great pleasure yesterday when we got back, going out for a lovely long walk this morning, which I've not been able to do. Noted it was without the dogs, because they went on their holidays too and we haven't collected them yet. We'll collect them tomorrow. But it is one of those things that for me, I've put on £3. I had a fantastic 4 nights putting that weight on. It was very relaxing. I feel like a whole new person and I'm ready to get back into it. So £3 up from a holiday that did involve several beers a day and nice food for breakfast and dinner, although like I said, with some activities in there too. So I'm quite happy with that at the minute. I didn't want to go down and just have a kind of starvation style diet. I haven't been doing the same exercise as I have been before I got the neck injury. I've got the last of the physios later this afternoon, so I'm hoping that will be kind of clean bill of health and maybe some exercises to carry on doing, but without having to go to the physiotherapist again, which would be nice. But in terms of accountability, yes, £3 up. I am actually genuinely surprised it's not more than that. So quite happy, to be brutally honest. It was a fantastic weekend, seeing friends we haven't seen since last July. So it was really nice, relaxing, and probably what I needed after the trapped nerve in my neck, because that did knock me off my game completely, both from fitness, weight, and also just from being a human being point of view. My wellness and my mental health was not the best over the past 5 or 6 weeks. So I feel energized, I feel back to it. I'm going to sort of batter into the next week, which I won't run over. I've done that before, so we'll talk about that in just a second with the week ahead. But this week, £3 up, not the best, but certainly not as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. I've had a great little holiday, and I feel absolutely human now, which is fantastic. As always, if you're enjoying these videos, please do hit the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it would be really appreciated. And as always, leave a comment with what you find the hardest thing to cope with on your weight loss journey and the ways you try and get around that. That would be always, as always, appreciated. One of the things, so let's talk about week ahead. So one of the things I have missed is actually talking with my hands. I know I do it quite a lot, and I have missed it. I feel like I've been sort of just trapped in a kind of unmoving world for the past 5 or 6 weeks, which has been a little bit of a nightmare, as I am a hand waver. So yes, in this week ahead, the mornings are really light now, so it gets light at 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. or if not before. So my intention is over this next week to ease back into doing my longer walks in the morning. I'm already sort of starting that in terms of up to 6 or 7 kilometres. It is at a much slower pace than it was before I was off with the trapped nerve in my neck. So I need to work on both the duration in terms of the distance I'm walking, but also the speed with which I'm walking. I was currently at 4.5 kilometers per hour. It was somewhere between 5 and 6 kilometers per hour, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a difference when you are walking 7 to 10 kilometers in a single walk in the morning. So I'm getting up a little bit earlier. I'm going to be going out for the walk. Over the first couple of days, I'm going to plan on building up the distance, and then once I've got back to the distance, I'm then going to be working on the speed, therefore how many calories you burn while you're doing that walk. I have, for the first time in what feels like months, started hitting my exercise rings and things on my Apple Watch, which is really good. And makes me feel really quite positive about things. In terms of food, I'm not going to be doing much different than I have been doing, to be brutally honest. It's a lifestyle that I find I can do quite easily, which is a leaner protein, volume vegetables, and less on those carbohydrates. I'm not saying no carbohydrates, just less. Wholemeal bread if I'm having bread, brown pasta if I'm having pasta, and try and go for kind of brown rice or just straight potatoes if I'm having carbohydrates, and less quantity. The vast majority on the plate is always going to be those volume vegetables, be it celeries, cabbages, broccolis, kale, mostly green. Throw in some green beans and things for some different texture, etc. And that is going to be the focus for this next week. But the first focus for me is that building up the distance in terms of my walking. I have missed going for a walk and not feeling like I need to have my arm in a sling and not move my head. As my friends very nicely pointed out, over the past 5 or 6 weeks, I have mastered the Michael Keaton Batman turn, where instead of looking over your shoulder, you turn your whole body to look at something. Working on changing that. I need to get out of that as a habit. When somebody talks, I would be, it would be nice now to be able to just look without having that little voice in the back of your head saying, if you turn your head, this is going to hurt. So there's some little things that I need to work on over this next week. I don't think, with the ache in my arm, I don't think I'm quite ready to go back to doing the yoga, but that is something that I will be reintroducing as quickly as I can into my exercise regime. It is one of those things that it burns a few extra calories, which is great, but more than that, it is also one of those things that helps with flexibility. And if you are anywhere close to my size, you'll realise that flexibility is always something that you can improve as a big person. It is one of those things that it doesn't come easily, but yoga, I've found, is a really good way that is gentle on your joints to work on that flexibility and balance, which is really good, I find. and I would strongly encourage. Now, whether you do sort of traditional yoga through to DDP yoga, that really is up to you. But it is one of those things that I like the DDP yoga with the kind of get your heart rate going a little bit. So I will be reintroducing that as quickly as I can. But the first priority is that walking. As we all know, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, walking is my preferred cardio for weight loss, particularly as a bigger person. It's not stressful on the joints, and it is something that I, from a mental point of view, if nothing else, find it relaxing. I put an audiobook in, I go for a walk. That's obviously if my wife isn't with me, because that would be rude. But if she's not with me, I put the audiobook on and I listen to an audiobook as I just relax and then get on with my working day in terms of my day job. And that is a really nice thing. It puts me in a good mental place, and it also is the exercise, which burns quite a few calories if you're still heavily overweight like I am. So that is the week ahead. It is walking first, yoga if I get a chance, if not that'll be next week, and it is just about increasing the distance back to what I was doing pre-shoulder, and then working on that pace and try and get it back to where it was and then move on from there. So I'm very happy. I've had a great little break in terms of with some friends. I am up a little bit in weight, but 3 pounds is not the end of the earth, considering I've had a fantastic few days with them and their kids. It is all about now focusing on the week ahead, getting the diet the same as it was in terms of just quite clean, quite fulfilling. I'm not having any particular cravings, so that is all good. And then working on the exercise part, which has been missing for 5 or 6 weeks now, as well as working on my Batman turn, or rather from changing it from a Batman turn to a normal, I can look over my shoulder. You don't realise how happy I am with that. Between being able to look over my shoulder and not be in pain, and also having a full night's sleep every single night, that has been absolutely awesome. And thank you very much to the physiotherapists that have helped me get there. Slower than I would have liked, but faster than I feared. So yes, over the moon. At this point, please do leave a like if you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video.